What's up everybody, welcome all back. Now this video is actually being filmed on my phone because essentially on my way home from travelling back from Thailand, I'm currently in England, I lost my rucksack which had my laptop in it and I can't connect my mic and stuff to this phone. So essentially they found the bag and it's going to be sent to me when I get back home to Scotland on Saturday. So I want to react to the fight news for you today, and I thought I'm just going to do it on my phone because I don't want to miss the kind of few days of hype you get when a fresh matchup is announced. And obviously the matches I'm talking about is Sean O'Malley versus Merab 2, which is set for the beginning of June in Newark, New Jersey, and Ian Machado Garry versus Carlos Prates at the end of April. Now, let's talk about Ian Garry versus Carlos Prates. Can I just say, I'm a big Ian Garry fan. I know he gets a lot of hate. The man is so active. The man improves every single fight. He's now taken 2 short notice fights against guys who are both undefeated in the UFC, all with finishes. I believe Prates is 4-0, 4 finishes, and obviously Shavkat was 6-0 with 6 finishes. Now, look, I think Ian Garry wins. Now, my first thought was, oh, maybe Ian Garry gets chinned by Carlos. That was my first thought. Like, oh Christ, Carlos could chin the guy. I have a feeling Ian Garry is going to come out this fight with a bit more venom and be a little bit more aggressive. You know, coming off a loss, he's going to feel like he needs to come out here and prove a point. He stands very tall. He's got a very high guard. He's very good on the feet. He actually has a very phenomenal grappling game as well. Obviously, he's obsessed with growth. I made a video about 3 years ago on Ian Garry and his mindset because I hadn't really seen anything like it. He's constantly talking about growth and improvement and just being an elite level fighter, and he fights anybody. He's now fighting number 13. It's a massive risk. He's ranked 7, and I'm sure the UFC have said, oh, Ian Garry, you know, there's a spot in 3 weeks. I think it's 3 weeks on Saturday. You know, it's very short notice, especially coming off a loss and taking a massive risk against a guy like Carlos Prates. They're trying to push both guys. And they were like, oh God, who are we going to call for the main event? They maybe said to him, look, obviously, when you go from 3 rounds to main event, when you are a main event, you do get a bonus. I think it's $25,000 extra to main event, which obviously some fighters, short notice. I would imagine Ian Garry is on, I'm going to say Ian Garry's probably on 80 and 80. He probably makes 160 grand per fight, which is good money, potentially more. I know he makes a lot of money outside the octagon. So he's probably thinking 200 grand and 3 weeks notice, fantastic, let's do it. He knows how good he is. I'm sure he's in shape. He was training with Oba and Elliott. He was training with the guys out in Brazil as well, in Spain. It was bizarre. All the Brazilians were in Spain for a few days. So I know he's in shape, I know he's fit, and I think I think he'll get it done against Carlos Prates. I think he's going to strike with him and then clinch and hold him and take him down and maybe try to get a submission. I can see Ian Garry finishing this fight in the first or second round. If I'm being 100% honest, I think he's just got that kind of, I call it the performer gene. People can just perform under pressure and perform, and they just love to perform, and they can always turn up. It's like turning up consistently, and he says it himself. He turned up against Shavkat. Shavkat just had the style and the skill set to beat him that night, and that was on like about 10 days notice. So I think Ian Garry goes out there and gets it done, if I'm being 100% honest. And I'm very excited for that fight. I'm a big Ian Garry fan. I like his personality, and you cannot discredit the man's activity. He is so active when it comes to fights. He's literally fighting every 4 months, which is nuts, especially in the top 15. You maybe see them fight once or twice a year, you know, and try pick fights. Ian Garry gets presented a fight. You want to fight in 3 weeks? Yes, no problem. You know what that means? That means if 6 months down the line there's a title fight that falls through, the UFC will say, Ian Garry will take it. We know he'll take it. He's always up to fight anyone. He's a stud. I know what Dana White's like. You get rewarded for being a company man, you know. So it's like when Kevin Holland got the Khamzat Chimaev fight and then was given, I think, 800,000 on top of his base contract. You know, always stepping in and taking fights, being a company man, knowing your skill set, having trust in yourself gets you rewarded. And I believe Ian Garry is out to do that. Also, he likes to compete. I think the more active you are as a fighter, the better. The more used you are to the nerves, you know, and especially when you're winning. I think Ian Garry's now 8 wins and 1 loss in the UFC, which is a great record. And obviously he's coming in here, making his 10th UFC appearance against Carlos Prates. It's a great fight. It's such a fun, amazing fight. You cannot discredit Ian Garry for taking this fight, and Carlos Prates. However, Prates has a lot to earn from this, a lot to gain. Ian Garry doesn't, you know, so we can kind of play it like that. But very difficult fight for both guys. A very tricky fight. Could be a war. Moving on, we have O'Malley versus Merab 2. We knew this fight was going to happen. We all knew it was going to happen in June. It's been announced for the start of June. 10 weeks. I think it was it's like 10 weeks till the day. Or 9 weeks this week, I believe it is. I think in 9 weeks it takes place. It's soon. I also noticed on O'Malley's Instagram, he was hitting pads a bit more. He had, on Tim Welch's Snapchat stories, he was posting sparring clips and hill sprints. I was like, yeah, something's about to get announced, and it obviously has been. I think O'Malley wins decision against Merab. I think it could be 3-2. I think it could be very, very similar to the first fight. However, O'Malley just lands more on the feet. He said now that he's got his hip replaced, he can train so much harder. He'll be 70% better. He's cut out social media, drinking, weed, wanking. He's cut all of this stuff out. And I think just the way he's talking, he's like, I don't need bad beef with him. I just want to go out there and perform. Like, he doesn't care about being McGregor. He doesn't care about hyping this fight. He just wants to go out here and put on a masterclass. Sean O'Malley's always been shy. We've always known he's a little bit shy on the mic. And I've always think he should just be himself. And now he's really coming into his own. He said he's a 30-year-old man now. He's got 5-6 years left in him. This is his time. And I believe him. And I truly just think a lot of people are saying, oh, Merab dominated him. Merab's just going to do the same thing again. That fight was 3-2. And if it was another night, you could arguably give that fight to Sean on damage. Now, I know people hate that, but O'Malley won round 1. And then actually won round 3 on the judges' cards. But round 3 was a lot less of an O'Malley round than round 1 was, you know. So it was a very weird score. The scoring system's always weird, you know. And I feel like, you know, Sean's just going to come in here. I think decision. I don't think Sean finishes Merab. I think Merab will get hurt and buck himself around. But what I think is going to happen is I think Merab's going to do what he did in the first fight. Keep his distance, move, try strike a little bit more, try be more dominant. And then Sean's movement, his straight rights to the body, he's been doing a lot more. I think there's going to be a lot of body shots this time. Where on Merab, tapes to the body, just stall positions and steal rounds. And I think O'Malley's going to steal 3 rounds in this fight. I just think I can see O'Malley obviously having a very good first round like he normally does. Maybe then 4 and 5 O'Malley steals. I don't see a world where Merab finishes Sean. Sean's grappling is just good enough not to be finished, but now I feel like Merab's going to come out quite a bit different and Sean's going to come out quite a bit different. I think it's going to be a completely different fight. A lot of people are complaining about this fight on social media. They're hating on this fight. But can I just say, folks, Sean O'Malley is... I said this on Twitter today. If you aren't on my Twitter, go down below and have a follow. I said this today. Sean O'Malley is the bantamweight division's best hope at beating Merab. Stylistically, it makes Merab more patient, more timid, and that's why O'Malley was able to win the first and the 5th round against Merab. That is unheard of. Merab is a beast. In my opinion, he's the greatest bantamweight we've ever seen. He's beaten Aldo, Cejudo, O'Malley, Umar. Like, he's Peter Yan. That's 5 former champions right there. Like, one of them's a 2-division champion. He's an absolute animal on a 12-fight win streak within the UFC. And bear in mind, Merab had like a 7-win and 4-loss record when he joined the... It was nuts. And the fact he's gone on and done this, I think he was 6-3 or something like that. And now he's on a 12-fight win streak, an absolute dog, a machine, a great human being as well, which of what everyone's come to love him. I think O'Malley gets it done by decision. I know I'm going to get so much hate for that. I think it's going to be a completely different fight. And a lot of people are saying, oh, there's no hype. The same thing is going to happen. Both guys have had a lot to learn from that first fight. And it was a close fight. The rounds Merab won were so dominant, but he did no damage, you know. So it was kind of like, okay, like Merab this, Merab that. It's like Merab's success in that fight was a lot more distinctive than Sean's success. However, you can still give Sean round 1 and 5 on damage, and you could give him round 3. Round 3 was a closer round than round 1. Round 3 was a more dominant O'Malley round than round 1, and people aren't giving O'Malley credit. He is the man to beat Merab, and if he doesn't beat Merab, it's no problem, because, you know, no one thinks he's going to win. Even I'm a bit like on the fence about it. However, he is the man to do it. He's taller, he's got that accuracy, that power, that funky footwork, and he's good in rematches. He stays cool, he stays calm. I want to see him in there with the pink shorts versus Merab's Georgian shorts. All respect between these two. Let's go out and try have a knock with each other and see who wins. And in my personal opinion, I think Sean O'Malley gets it done 50-48, 3-2, I believe it will be. So could be a fantastic night of fights. Hopefully for one of the next few videos, guys, I'll be back to my usual setup back home in Scotland without having to use my phone to film this. So fantastic, folks. I'll go get this uploaded for you. Let me know your thoughts in the description. I'm happy these matchups have been announced. The hype would be so much more if it was Ilya and Islam, though, being announced. And when Dana White said he had an announcement, I was like, it's going to be the June card. It's going to be O'Malley, Merab. And it was. Ian Garry versus Carlos Prates being the new main event for Kansas City. That was a really nice surprise. But anyway, thank you, folks. Subscribe.